Thanks for joining us today on Polk Salad.
We've started the season and had two great shows.
Great idea. That's smart.
And we've just settled in quite nicely.
Welcome to Polk Salad. We have a great show for you today. It's October. The leaves are changing, it's getting cooler, and school is in session. The two guests we have, yes, two, not three, are related to education. We have Rex Fuller, president at Western Oregon University. We have Jennifer Kubista, who is the superintendent of schools here in our area. We'll be right back. Hi, we're here with Rex Fuller, president of Western Oregon University. Not a stranger to me and probably not to many of you. Welcome, Rex.
Thank you, Susan. It's great to be here.
Thank you for coming on. I know you have a busy schedule, so I'm glad you were able to come and join us. This is the beginning of a school year. You've got a lot of things that have happened and in the over the summer, and things that are planning on happening now. Can you give us a little idea of what's coming forward? What do you have going?
Well, as you mentioned, we're just starting school and we're second week of classes, so that's always a priority, and it's great to have our students back. This summer we were very busy doing a number of projects around campus, upgrades to many of our facilities. We've improved the women's softball field,
Yay.
Added an artificial turf infield to that, and that's project's now completed, and improved the drainage for both softball and baseball.
Yeah.
Those are some of the projects. And other improvements. We're in the middle of a complete remodel of the science building, the natural science building, and Steve Taylor is one of our faculty who is the liaison on that project. And so the main floor has been redone, and it's operational this fall. We will have the final project completed into this next calendar year, so it'll be ready for next fall. Those are some of the projects, but the other big project that continues into the fall is a campus master plan.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah, it's a 10-year plan roughly, and we hadn't done one for a while, and we hired SRG Architects, consulting firm, to do the work. We're nearing the finish line with that project. It is a complete look at the alignment of our campus mission, as well as all of our space and facilities, including an attention to things like a walkable campus. And so it was timely because it was built on the top of the campus strategic plan, which was done a couple of years ago. So the elements of that plan are student success, academic excellence, community engagement, which is a piece we'll talk about, as well as accountability, and then sustainability and stewardship.
The part that I think is fascinating is there will be a pathway between Warner Center and the Rice.
Yeah, one of the things that is true of the campus is we have sort of a north-south pedestrian and traffic flow.
Yep.
And that's true of Monmouth Avenue itself, which is a very picturesque and beautiful stretch of roadway, but it's also true of our pedestrian pathways, which run from the residence halls on the north of campus down to the southern core of the academic buildings. What was really missing was an east-west pathway. And what the plan has identified with input from a lot of folks is, if we think in terms of Rice Auditorium and we think in terms of a replacement for the old College of Ed building, which is across from the Warner Center, that creates a way in which we can create a nice serpentine concourse that would tie the Warner Center down to the Rice Auditorium complex. And that would allow us to think about enhancing our music and theater performance areas over time, and creating a connector for the community which would attend a concert, say, in Rice, and then having an easy way to now see a path to connect to the heart of campus. Right now, that path is not available. It's not easy to traverse on foot, certainly. And so that pathway, I think, will help us with the community outward-facing theater and music programs to draw people into the heart of campus as well, and be viable for academic programs, which use Rice and those buildings to support academic programs. So that is an exciting feature of that. I would say the other key piece that is continuing sort of the DNA of Western is making sure it's a walkable, bikeable campus. We want it to be pedestrian friendly, and as well as the landscape being zero landscape to allow us to reduce our water usage.
Athletics, you've got a plan to revise new PE,
Well,
built in 71?
Well, in terms of new PE was built in 71, so new PE, new is relative term, new by at least the United States standards, not by Europe. But we have a couple capital projects. So I mentioned that we're currently remodeling natural science. We have funding to remodel Oregon Military Academy, which is on the north end of campus, as well as the ITC building, which is the old lab school.
Yeah.
Those are projects that will be next in the actual remodeling phase. We'll be finalizing the design in the next few months, and then that construction will start probably next spring and continue on through the summer and perhaps the fall. Those are projects that have been funded by the state of Oregon. Going forward, we have in this year's biennial budget request 2 projects that are highly ranked at this point in the process, and that would be to replace the old College of Education building with a Student Success Center, and also to do a major renovation to new PE. The campus master plan talks about really sort of neighborhoods on campus, and there's the athletic facilities neighborhood, there's the residential neighborhood, which includes the residence halls, and then there's the academic core, which is running mostly north-south along Monmouth Avenue. So that's where the architects have really created this idea of a neighborhood and a community.
Yeah, I love it.
That really will support us for years to come.
And I'm loving the OMA. We were at an event this weekend with folks who were involved in the Welcome Center and the lobby, and you want to tell us about that?
The Oregon Military Academy will become a welcome center. We envision that being the place where we have advising, admissions, and financial aid, as well as an outreach for alumni. It'll be the place where visitors come to campus for the first time. And we envision it also being a place where we would then launch our campus tours with our ambassadors, be a place where families and students can get a sense of what's possible. But we have a group that raised funding to name the lobby for Dean Jack Morton, who was the Dean of Students here for a number of years, and just had this notion of being able to influence students of those generations. And those alumni now have fond memories of his impact, and went about raising money to name the lobby in his honor. And the funds that were raised are really reserved for scholarships for continuing students. So the exciting piece is that the space will be named in his honor. There'll be different artifacts and memorabilia from his era. But the money raised, over $150,000, will fund scholarships in perpetuity for continuing students. And that helps us with the notion of affordability and seeing our students finish the race and graduate. So all those things came together in a very nice way.
So we've been talking a lot about the buildings, but I know that's not your focus. I know your focus is on student success. This is going to be an avenue of getting them there. So tell us what's happening academically.
Well, all of the things work together in a community, so the space is an important piece of that. But really, we are committed to seeing our students graduate. So one of the, themes going back, and I think it's in the DNA of Western before you and I arrived as well, is around making sure that our students have a pathway that they can see that allows them to finish the race and graduate. So it's a theme that I talk to parents and students about on their first day on campus. It's a theme we talk about. We are working hard to improve our persistence rates and retention rates. We call it the sort of the power of the nudge, helping students get through days that may be difficult and still finish and graduate. And so that really is an underlying value principle that Western has had for decades that we're trying to build on, if you will. In terms of academic programs, we see the opportunities to expand our reach and serve adults who are place-bound in Salem. So we hope to be able to open some programs.
Do tell us.
So the Salem Initiative is around working in partnership with Chemeketa at their building on High Street in the downtown area. and we'll be targeting adults with some college and no degree, as well as an exciting new program at the master's level in organizational leadership. We envision having a space where adults, families, if you will, professional people working in Salem who have busy lives would be able to go to that location rather than commuting to Monmouth to either complete a degree, maybe their first baccalaureate degree, or in some cases go on and earn a master's degree. There are 500,000 people in the state of Oregon with some college and no degree. And that market is also underserved in Salem, and we believe that we have a unique opportunity to do some exciting work there.
I think that's so awesome. When we lived in Spokane, the campus, Cheney was where the main campus was for Eastern Washington University, but there was a downtown college, and I think we're kind of using that as a template, maybe, in a way.
It's an example that is similar in many ways. There are others around the country that have done this. I think that the point is that when we think in terms of today's barriers to pursuing a degree, sometimes it's simply time. And by being able to go to them, we save considerable commute time, and you remove a barrier to someone making it possible to manage a busy life. Some of those courses will be evening and weekend. I can envision what we call a hybrid model, where the students can do some work remotely in using a learning management system. We use what's called Moodle to do that. So the idea is that it's not quite the notion of a standard pattern that you and I experienced when we went to college, where you met Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 o'clock, and that was the only way in which you were able to get access. It's and rather than or is a way to think about it.
But our ratio, I say our because I feel like part of it, our ratio is still an awesome number. Is it 1 to 18 of faculty to student?
It's actually, in the sense of student contact, better than that. It's about 14 to 1.
14, okay.
Student to faculty ratio. And we will still have a major presence here on the main campus. And that's where the more traditional student would see courses be delivered and continue to be delivered. So it's not or, it's and. It really is another opportunity for exciting programs to serve new markets. So one of the messages of the State of the University address this year was programs that grow enrollment. That can be locations like Salem. We're also exploring new programs in the health sciences. We have exploratory work done on a doctor of physical therapy.
I think that's awesome.
And
tell us more about that. Why is that a good idea?
Well, DPT programs, first of all, to be a licensed physical therapist, you need to have the doctoral level. It's an applied doctorate called DPT. So it's mandated that you have that to practice physical therapy going forward. In the past, it was a master's degree. And there are currently no public universities in the state of Oregon that offer that program. And there's really burgeoning demand for access to that program, and right now no public in Oregon is able to do that. We are located in the I-5 corridor, where the vast majority of the state of Oregon resides, and physical therapy and its related fields are a burgeoning and growing part of an approach to healthcare that's around wellness and healthy lifestyles as compared to disease maintenance exclusively.
I'm going to shift just temporarily. More personal. We are married. We've been we're California natives originally. Lived in 6 states, 5 universities. What else?
We have children.
We have children. What do you want to tell us that others might not know?
About us, or?
No. You like tennis?
Oh,
golf?
Yeah, in free time, I prefer to do things that are active. Try to play golf when the weather allows that. You know, a good day of golf is always an exciting day, and I enjoy it. I played tennis more in recent years, but have taken a bit of a break from that, but still enjoy doing that. And then now that our children live in California, part of our free time is trying to make time to connect with family as well.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So let me think. We also have 5 grandchildren. And
we do.
yeah. When we first moved here, what was your impression and how has it changed of our area we live in?
I'd go back to the interview that we both did during the process that led us to coming here, and I would say our impression then, which is still true, is this is a campus where students are first, where there's a community that cares about students. That's everywhere from people in the bookstore to the business office to the residence halls to the custodians. Virtually all of us are here because students enroll here, and so when I have a chance to welcome new employees, I talk about the fact that each of us has a role to play, and that when we walk around campus, we need to have our eyes up. And I use that term because I want us all to make eye contact with each other and be sure that we're a resource for a student who might be having a bad day. So that impression that we had from our student tour leader, who graduated from Western as well.
Yes, that's right.
Was that this place puts students first, and I think that's still true. And I think that's exactly what a regional comprehensive university needs to do to thrive and be successful over the long term.
Good. Good point to end on. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back. We're here with Jennifer Kubista. She is the superintendent of our Central School District here in Monmouth Independence. Welcome, Jennifer.
Good morning. Good to see you again.
I'm so happy to see you.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
It's a nice fall day. You know, you've been here a year. The
I
honeymoon
have.
is over. You jumped into the deep end and you started a process, a strategic plan.
Yes, we have. We are into it.
Okay. Fire away. Let's hear what's happening.
Yeah, so we're very excited. This past August, the board adopted the 4 strategic goals of Central School District. And what was great about it is the first day I really came in here and had our meeting with our staff, we started to build a plan. I put 4 questions up on the big walls of the high school asking our staff, what is important to us about, what do we see success for our students, for our families, for our community, and then for us as staff. And so we just started, I asked them to put their thoughts on paper, and we started to dive into just looking at, so what are the key themes that started to come out. And so throughout all of last year, we went back and forth, first with administration, starting to wordsmith what might the strategic goals look like, sending that back to buildings, hey, we'd like your input, building leadership teams or leadership, looked at them from different levels, took it to the board, asked them to take a look at it, went back to the buildings, and just a great process that our staff was very involved in, very excited about, and then was adopted this past August. So I would love
wonderful.
to share them real quickly.
Yes. Well, no, take your time. This is your day.
We are excited. So there's 4 strategic goals that we have. The first one is focused on student growth and achievement. And the vision states, every student is engaged and supported, challenged and prepared as a whole child with the skills and character to achieve and be successful in school, career, college, and community.
Oh, good.
So really developing a whole-rounded child
Yeah.
that can be successful in anything that they do, whether they go into the workforce, into college, continue to be part of our community. We're just very excited. That is our main goal in student being able to grow and achieve.
Good. Good.
So the
Like
second
it.
goal is focused on family involvement. We know that that is very important as we do, and I am very clear that family involvement doesn't always mean you have to be at the school. It could be spending time reading to your son or daughter at home, those types of things. And the vision for that is Central School District 13J fosters a relationship where every family is actively involved in their child's education and feels welcome, supported, safe, and valued. And that was very important to us, that we do want to have that welcoming atmosphere, that our parents do feel safe coming in and having conversations with us, both positive and sometimes if there are concerns. We want to know all of the information. And as I said, that involvement doesn't always mean that you're in the school, but there's opportunities for them to really be involved in their son or daughter's education.
Kind of a teamwork type of atmosphere.
Absolutely.
Good.
The third goal is community partnership, and I will say I have shared this with you, and many a times I think we have great communities
Yes.
here. That has been an important aspect that we want to continue to foster and grow. And so the vision for the goal of community partnership is partners engage in collaboration with Central School District 13J to cultivate student success for a safe, healthy, prosperous, and inclusive community.
Oh, good.
And it's very important to us. We have a
Yeah.
diverse community,
Yeah.
a very large Latino population, Latina population. That is important, that we want to be,
Yeah.
have community partners in every form and fashion. Us working with them working with us to help students be successful.
Okay.
You know, we have great partnerships with Western Oregon. One of the best
Yeah.
is our bilingual scholar program. Great partnerships with the libraries, great partnerships with the City of Independence.
See?
Just, again, opportunities for youth to see other ways that they can be involved. So we're very excited to continue to foster
Yeah,
that.
there's like a service learning
Absolutely.
aspect of university level, and it's coming more to the
Yes.
high school, and
Very important.
wonderful, wonderful.
Very important. And then the last goal is focused on our staff leadership and continuous improvement, and really us being learners, that we
Yeah.
continue to learn and grow. And so the vision for that is staff engage in student-centered decision-making, problem-solving, professional development, because that's very important to me. We
Yes,
have
it
to
is.
continue to learn and grow as adults, focused on continuous improvement and growth, where shared purpose, teamwork, respect, and trust drive decisions. So again, we're going to continue to work at that, because that is a very important piece as we build the goals, because our teachers, our support staff, our administrators are on the ground in the day-to-day and working very hard to support students each and every day.
Sounds like it was very evident that teamwork was working in putting together the strategic plan.
Yes, and that is a big part of what I believe in.
Yeah.
That everyone has voices, and that we
Yeah.
continue to build those voices in the different ways that we can.
And I find that you get buy-in from people when they feel like they have a voice.
Yes.
And can take ownership of something.
Yes.
So that's
Yeah. So
you're doing good job.
we're getting there, and it's exciting, because as we started to draft these goals, I looked at the other goals. I looked at Western's goals, strategic
Oh,
plan.
sure.
I have looked at other
Yeah.
both of the cities, and we have alignment, and we're starting to get there, and that's what's exciting of
Good.
where we can work together, where we are aligned.
Good.
In those different ways from that perspective. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So some of our next steps, we get to build the accountability system. So some of the next steps will be part of that.
It's
Some of-
painful. Can be painful.
It can be. Some of those accountability will come from the state. We already know, as an example, attendance, graduation rates, obviously the state test exam, both in the actual passing of the exam and the growth. I am excited to, at some point, we will be able to publicly share, there is some excitement in some of our data it is embargoed right now by the state, but we are very excited to share the growth with our community. We still have work to do, but
Yeah.
I'm very excited to look
Great
at
strides.
a 3-year, just some of the 3-year growth
Good.
that we have taken. So that's
Good.
going to be fun to share with the community.
Could part of the data have been the way they collected it? I remember last year when you were on, I think you were telling us that when a student transfers
Yes,
to
we have
another school,
yep,
it
there's some
looks
tracking
like they're
piece.
dropping out.
yeah.
So have they corrected that issue?
We are continuously
Oh, good.
cleaning data, as I
Okay.
call it.
Okay, good.
And it is part of that process that we will always do, and we want to
Yeah.
make sure that we have quality data that is going to the state, and quality data that is allowing us to make decisions. And again, I say data is not to catch you, it is to paint the picture of what might be our next move.
Right.
What do we need to change? What do we need to keep doing?
Use it as a tool.
Absolutely.
It's not bad.
It's not.
Good.
It can look bad sometimes, and that's
Well,
the hard
yeah.
part about it. That
That's
you
what I
look at it and
found,
go,
yeah.
"Oh, this isn't good."
Yeah.
But I always say, then you move, you keep going up.
Yeah.
You can only
Yeah.
go up.
Well, statistics, it's all an interpretation
It
of
is
the numbers
sometimes.
and the ways
It
you
is.
can do it.
Yep.
Yeah. So when you first moved here, you had an impression of our city, of our area.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to remind you of what you said. You said people work hard here. difficult times come, but people pull together, and it's an inclusive and welcoming community. What is your impression still?
Would not change.
See, yeah.
I think that this is a very diverse community, as I shared before. That's what one of the key things that attracted me here. I think we have amazing people that are rolling up their sleeves and trying to do the hard work. It's not easy.
It's not.
It's not easy, and we continue to build relationships.
Yeah.
And if we have setbacks, how do you rebuild those and continue to move forward? And
Yeah.
and that can be hard, but
Yeah.
it is definitely something that we work at. I think I have hired some amazing staff.
Okay, tell us about your most recent hires.
I think I would put my administration. I think we have great principal leaderships. Had 2 new hires this past spring with our new principal at the high school, Donna Servigna, who has a very, very good lens on trauma-informed, which I would like to share a little bit more in a minute here
yes.
about that. And so I think she's going to be a great add to our high school. She just has a great lens of how to meet kids where they're at, get supports for them, continuing to push in that direction.
Good.
Continuing to build relationships with staff, because obviously this is her first year. And then our new Independence Elementary principal, Dr. Nicole Smith, who has a really great English language development lens.
Oh.
So Independence has our largest Latino population, and so just her knowledge on acquisition of language is going to be a great add to that building. So I'm very excited.
Good.
Plus the other 3 in Mr. LeBounty, our great outstanding principal at the middle school, Ashley Wildfang, who's the principal at Ash Creek in her 2nd year, and then Kim Seidel, who I say is our 2nd most veteran principal at Monmouth.
Yeah.
I have a great team of leaders that
Good.
within the building, so just excited to watch them continue to learn and grow together.
Yeah. It helps to keep a positive attitude when you have such accomplishments. So I pulled some articles from the IO over the year, and I'm sure I didn't pull many as happened. Academic decathlon was very exciting.
It was very
Can
exciting.
you tell us about that?
Just opportunities for kids to show their talents and to be successful. I mean, we had 2 other through one of our clubs where kids did essays and finished 1st and 2nd, and got to go to Texas, yeah, I believe it's Texas to compete. I mean, that's just an opportunity, and it just shows the growth of students and the work that our teachers are putting in to support that. I think one of the outstanding ones we had is our choir won the state championship for 5A.
That's awesome.
That was a very exciting time, and to see all those students that are up early, working hard, in choir a couple times during the day, and sometimes in the morning, and sometimes in the afternoon.
And how
working
many
at
of
their talents.
How many of the students are double dippers? Also in athletics, or also working, or
We
also
have a lot of those students.
You learn to partial out your time and energies. I think at a young age.
Absolutely, and just even in the fact of just the amount of kids that are in drama, the amount of kids that are in creative writing clubs, some of the stuff that we're trying to do is continuing to build those pieces of the clubs that before and after school. I think the other thing, our women's basketball program finished 5th in the state. They return a lot of kids this year, so it'll be fun to watch how they've learned and grown. We have a boys soccer team who last year did extremely well, won the league. This past week knocked off the number 2 team in the state. Number 2 team, I believe it was in the state.
Good.
So just some exciting times that happened. I had the opportunity the other night to go watch our girls soccer team. They have improved immensely from last year to this year. Just fun things to see, both in the classroom and outside the classroom, because both of those are very important. I think we have an amazing Power Peers program who continues to message out how to take care of yourself as a youth.
Now that's kind of a new concept, and it's part of the Miss and Mr. Central?
Yes, so there's some
many of
community
them are-
service part of the Mr. and
Okay.
Mrs. Central, but the Power Peers really is a group that was started about 3 years ago, I believe now. of just other leaders within the school, and really focusing on how do we take care of ourselves as students. What does that look like? They built a whole pantry, or any student at any time can go down and grab a snack. They need a jacket. They need some clothes. It's just a great, and student-driven, student voice, which is, as I shared with you, very important to me, and to just watch our students continue to lead that.
I'm
is
so
amazing.
impressed. And what a good segue for them, you know, to go into adulthood with that attitude of giving, not taking.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's very good.
You must be so excited.
I am. I told you.
You're pumped. You're
I love
all-
this. I love this place. I want to be here for a long time. I think we have great students first and foremost. We have amazing families. It's every opportunity I get to have conversation with them, or see them, or say hello. You know, it's great to see kids. I was at a football game on Friday, and I had two little, because I walk through the buildings. I try and get through and walk through all of our schools at
Was
least
it always
twice a
on
week.
Wednesdays?
A little bit last year. I was
Okay.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This year I'm walking more Tuesdays and Thursdays. But having kids come up to you and have conversation about what's going on in their school, or how the football game is, and to be able to share that's just exciting.
That
And
is nice.
Amazing staff that continue to work hard, and that's
Good.
what's fun about it.
Well, we're lucky to have you.
I appreciate
I'm glad
that.
you're here. And we'll be right back. Weren't they fabulous guests? Oh boy, I learned so much, and I am so secure in the knowledge our students are benefiting from education in our neighborhoods. Until we see you again, you can see the show on YouTube, WIMPAC channel, MyNet, channel 718, and of course, Polk Salad, A Bounty of Conversation, our Facebook page. Until next month, I'll see you around town. Thank you for joining